Capricorns often stand out not because they demand attention, but because they silently master the spaces they walk through. Their creativity blends seamlessly with their rational nature, making them problem solvers who think fast and act efficiently. When something breaks, a Capricorn doesn't panic. They analyze, rework, and rebuild with the few tools they have at hand. They're also known for their unwavering discipline. Once they set a goal, they march toward it with laser focus. Quitting is not in their vocabulary. And when life throws roadblocks, they don't break down, they break through. They're not just dreamers, they're doers. They pursue their desires like climbing a mountain, step by step, no shortcuts. It's easy to admire their ambition, but even more impressive is how they maintain their momentum over time. They don't wait around hoping things improve. They take charge, create structure, and make it happen. If you've ever felt inspired by someone's relentless drive, chances are you are witnessing a Capricorn in action. And if this resonates with you, take a second and subscribe. It means the world to us and helps Ocanal Sabiduría de Luz grow every day. Another side of Capricorn's sharp nature is their ability to read people. They see through masks with ease. Their gut instinct isn't a guess. It's a compass forged through observation and experience. In a world filled with half-truths, Capricorns are wired to detect authenticity. They often know someone's motives before that person even says a word. And yes, while they may appear calm and measured, don't be fooled. If crossed or deeply annoyed, their words can cut with precision. They're not ones to lash out carelessly, but if provoked, their sharp tongue knows exactly where to land. If you've ever been stunned by a calm person suddenly speaking truth like a storm, you've probably witnessed a Capricorn at their limit. Have you ever experienced the quiet power of a Capricorn? Tell us your story below, or simply share your birth date and sign. We'd love to see how many of you are walking the Capricorn path. Driven by the desire to succeed, they take no shortcuts. Mediocrity isn't an option. They set high standards in every area: career, relationships, and even self-growth. You won't catch a Capricorn settling just to avoid being alone. They'd rather build something worthwhile from the ground up. Dependability is another cornerstone. A Capricorn honors their commitments, whether it's a business deal or a personal promise. They show up, they follow through, and in a world where broken promises are common, that makes them rare. Their word is often as solid as a signed contract. And when faced with decisions, they don't jump blindly. They analyze, they ask the hard questions. Capricorns seek truth before action. You can't manipulate them with shiny illusions. They need substance, proof, and logic. They're not cold, they're simply not fools. Their love for structure shows in how punctual and organized they are. Time matters to them, and they respect it deeply. If you've ever been late to something a Capricorn invited you to, you probably got the look. But if there's one thing that cuts the deepest, it's betrayal. If you damage their trust, don't expect them to just move on. They might remain polite, even civil, but that part of their heart that was once open to you may never be again. Capricorns don't just live, they elevate. They never settle for the average. Every step they take is a quiet rebellion against mediocrity. Whether in their career, love life, or personal development, they're always reaching for something better. Improvement isn't a goal, it's a habit. Their intelligence shines in the way they make decisions. Every major move is calculated with long-term vision. They weigh pros and cons with surgical precision. While others may act on impulse, Capricorn listens to logic. And when they do leap, it's because they've built a landing before jumping. This is also why they give the kind of advice that sticks. Capricorns don't sugarcoat, but they also don't tear people down. Their guidance is grounded, practical, and honest, perfect for when life feels confusing. If you've ever been comforted by someone's calm and logical words, you may owe that clarity to a Capricorn. And speaking of calm, Capricorns are known for enduring storms with incredible grace. Even when life tests them, they keep their head high. Challenges are not threats, they're puzzles. And Capricorns, they always find a way to solve them. If you're still with us, now's the perfect time to like this video. It really helps the channel Sabiduría de Luz reach more amazing souls like you. Now, let's talk emotions, because Capricorns feel deeply. They may not show it, but pain doesn't pass through them lightly. When hurt, they hide it, internalize it, process it. You won't often hear them complain, but behind their calm face may be a storm they're dealing with alone. And this guarded heart makes them slow to trust. They observe, they wait. Their loyalty is earned, not given. But once you have it, it's ironclad. They'll protect you, stand by you, and value your presence like few others do. That's why their circle is small, but it's sacred. Have you ever taken time to break through a Capricorn's walls? Was it worth it? Share your experience or your birthday and zodiac sign down below. It helps us connect deeply with your journey. And here's something few people expect. Capricorns can be hilariously sarcastic. Their dry wit often flies over people's heads, but if you get it, you'll be laughing until your stomach hurts. They use humor as a defense, as connection, and sometimes as their love language. In relationships, their devotion runs deep. A Capricorn won't run at the first sign of trouble. They'll stay, they'll try, and they'll fight for what they believe is worth it. That kind of loyalty isn't always loud, but it's real. Capricorns are not only driven by goals, they are often haunted by their own thoughts. Overthinking is a constant companion. Their minds rarely rest. They replay conversations, reevaluate decisions, and forecast possible futures in a loop that can be exhausting. It's not that they don't know how to enjoy the present, they just find it hard to stay there. Their brains are built for analysis, and sometimes that analysis becomes anxiety. This habit of overthinking can make them appear distant or emotionally unavailable. But the truth is, they're carrying more inside than most people realize. They just don't believe in burdening others with their internal chaos. So they bury it, and they cope, in silence, often with a half smile that hides everything. Yet beneath that quiet weight, Capricorns have a fun, even wild side, one they rarely show to the world. Only the chosen few, the ones who've truly earned their trust, get to see this version. When they feel safe, when they're around people who truly understand them, they let loose. They laugh loudly, dance freely, and sometimes act in ways that would surprise anyone who only knows their serious side. That contrast is one of their most beautiful traits. They're complex, layered, and full of surprise. And when it comes to love, Capricorns don't fall easily, but when they do, it's deep. They don't play games or get swept up in temporary infatuations. They look for substance, strength, stability. They want a partner who mirrors their ambition and who isn't afraid to walk beside them rather than behind them. Confidence, assertiveness, emotional maturity, these are the things that attract a Capricorn. They're not chasing perfection, they're searching for someone real, someone who's grown through pain and still chooses to love boldly. Their loyalty in love is something rare. Even when relationships become hard, and they will, they don't look for an exit, they look for a way through. Capricorns believe in long-term, they believe in effort, and most importantly, they believe in building something that can withstand time, challenges, and change. When they choose you, they're all in. But with that kind of loyalty comes high expectations. A Capricorn won't beg for your attention or your effort. They observe. And if they feel you're not matching their energy or investment, they'll withdraw. Not out of cruelty, but because they refuse to be taken for granted. Their time and love are sacred, and they won't pour it into someone who doesn't see its worth. Sometimes, their strength is mistaken for coldness, but Capricorns feel deeply. They just don't show it in ways people expect. They may not flood you with words, but they'll remember the small things you say. They'll notice when they're tired, when you're off, when you need silence more than support. Their love is quiet, consistent, and real. And in solitude, they often find their peace. Being alone isn't scary for a Capricorn. It's necessary. It's in those moments of quiet that they recharge, reflect, and reconnect with themselves. Solitude allows them to breathe. Not because they don't love people, but because they need distance to hear their own truth. Have you ever witnessed this quiet strength in someone you know? Or maybe in yourself? We'd love to hear your experience, or just tell us your birth date and zodiac sign in the comments. Every shared story makes this space feel more human, more real. Capricorns are not here to impress, they're here to grow. They may not always be the loudest in the room, but they are often the most dependable, the most thoughtful, the most deeply rooted. They lead not with noise, but with purpose.
Capricorns are often misunderstood because they don't reveal themselves easily. But those who take the time to really observe will see a rare kind of strength, a strength that isn't loud but unwavering. They're the kind of people who keep going even when no one is watching. They're not motivated by praise or validation. They're driven by inner values, personal standards, and a deep desire to build something meaningful. And that's what makes them unforgettable. While some people burn bright and fast, Capricorns burn slow and steady. They're builders of empires, internal and external. They don't rush success. They respect the process, the time it takes, and the discipline required. You'll rarely see them bragging about their accomplishments, but if you look closely, you'll notice the foundation of everything they've created is solid and long-lasting. This quiet resilience often stems from childhood. Many Capricorns were forced to grow up fast. They learned early that life doesn't hand out rewards for free. This gave them maturity, responsibility, and a certain seriousness that others might not understand. But it also gave them wisdom, the kind of wisdom that only comes from experience. They learn through trial and hardship, and they carry those lessons with grace. They are natural providers, whether it's emotional support, financial stability, or practical help. Capricorns take care of the people they love, and they do it without expecting applause. If they love you, you'll feel it, not through grand declarations, but through actions. They'll check in when you're silent. They'll show up when it matters. They'll notice what you need before you even say it. But don't confuse their loyalty with blind tolerance. Capricorns have limits, and once you've crossed a line, especially when it comes to trust, they rarely give second chances. Not because they're bitter, but because they've learned the cost of letting the wrong people stay. They choose peace over drama, dignity over desperation. They're not flawless, of course. Sometimes their expectations can be too high. Sometimes they can be overly rigid. But these flaws stem from the same place as their strengths: a desire for excellence, a refusal to live life half-heartedly. They want things done right, even if it takes longer, even if it means doing it alone. And here's a beautiful contradiction. While they crave stability, they're not afraid of transformation. Capricorns are constantly evolving. They may appear consistent on the surface, but internally they are always refining, always adjusting, always elevating. They seek to become better versions of themselves, not because they're insecure, but because they believe in growth. Their solitude is sacred, not because they reject others, but because it's in silence that they reconnect with their purpose. Capricorns are deeply spiritual, even if they don't use that word. Their connection with life is grounded, rooted, and wise. They sense when they're out of alignment, and they retreat not to escape, but to realign. So if you have a Capricorn in your life, cherish them. Don't take their silence as disinterest. Don't mistake their stillness for apathy. They are observant, reflective, and always aware. And if they love you, you'll never have to question it. You'll feel it in their consistency, their protection, their quiet presence that feels like home. And if you are a Capricorn, take a moment to acknowledge yourself. You carry so much, often in silence.
You give so much, often without recognition, but you are powerful, purposeful, and deeply needed in this world. Your journey is not always easy, but it is always meaningful. Before we go, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It helps Sabidoria de Luz continue creating content that speaks directly to souls like yours. And if this video made you feel seen, please leave a like. It shows us we're on the right path together. And now, we'd love to hear from you. Have you seen yourself in this, or do you know someone who embodies this Capricorn energy? Share a piece of your story, or simply comment with your birth date and zodiac sign. This space is for you, too.